Bridge with Kira is sponsored by the original Done Right Buffalo Wing Sauce. If you're looking for something spicy and different, look no further. The original Done Right Buffalo Wing Sauce is all you'll need. It's good on everything. Homemade goodness from Riverview, New Brunswick. Shipping's available, so check them out. www.dunrightbuffalowingsauce.com. Hi everyone, welcome to The Bridge with Kira. I'm your host, Kira Young, and you've reached me on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, simulcasting with Real Liberty Media. And tonight we welcome People's Internet Radio back into the Bridge with Kira family, and we will be replaying over there on Tuesday evenings after Cancel the Cabal. Tonight my guest is with a band called the Abrahams. His name is Ross Alexander II, and we're hoping that he will do some live music here tonight. Hi. Hello. Tonight has been a night of some technical difficulties, so welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I had trouble in the beginning, and I sorry about that.
That's quite all right.
All right, good.
We would have been better off with paper cups and a very, very long piece of string.
Probably. Across the ocean. Ross, meet my assistant producer, Vincent Easley.
Hello, assistant producer Vincent Easley.
He is basically monitoring the chats for us, and he has his smart-ass remarks that will come in from time to time.
Okay.
I'm also a second, Ross. Vincent Easley II. So I guess we might be brothers in a way, since we appear to have the same last part of our names the same.
Almost certainly.
So tell us about the scene where you're at in the UK, where you're doing folk music and playing guitar and hanging out together and creating community and.
Well, it's a pretty good scene where we are. It's only a fairly small town, but there's an awful lot of very talented musicians, and we just do what we can, really. But yeah, we get plenty of gigs, so we're happy boys.
And that's what a musician needs, is gigs. And that's all a musician needs, actually, is gigs.
And the occasional £10 note.
Yep. Maybe a meal or two thrown in there. Do you have the same type of situation over there for musicians as they do here, where it's like, yes, come play, and you get a free bar tab, or like they don't actually want to pay you. They find all kinds of different ways to pay you instead of actually just giving you money?
Yeah, more often than not, yeah. But there's some good venues that will pay well, but you need to have a reputation before you can even try it. And you can only build up a reputation by doing gigs where you're getting a bacon sandwich or something.
Right.
But yeah, it seems to be sometimes as well, the more prestigious the gig, the less you get, because they kind of expect you to do it for the, to raise your profile, which is cool because we all need to do that. But yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same. It's the same like wherever you go, I guess. Some places like Austin, Texas, have a program where they actually support musicians that are starting out.
Okay.
But not everywhere has that. And I think really it's just about the community coming out and supporting you. And, do you have any CDs or do you want to direct people to your SoundCloud?
I would love to direct someone to my SoundCloud, but I'm not sure that I know the directions. I think if you put into SoundCloud, if you put in either the Abrahams, which is the name of our band, or myself, Ross Alexander, the second, which is II, you'll find something.
Okay. So Vince is going to find that.
Okay, cool.
And post in the chat room. Given our technical difficulties, I actually am unable to play your SoundClouds for you. But if you want to try to do some live stuff, we can, if you're up for it.
I'm up for anything.
Okay, great. That's exciting. So who are some of your influences that got you started singing, that really just inspired you? I need to sing myself.
I don't know. Bob Dylan from a very young age. Yeah, definitely. I don't know really, but I was fortunate enough to have a jukebox in the house when I was young. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, certainly Bob Dylan was one of my first influences, but I've been through absolutely everything. But sort of, yeah, Cat Stevens, Donovan, particularly Nick Drake when I got a bit older. But yeah, really, absolutely anything. I mean, when I was at school, I went through a hip hop phase, so I don't disclude any kind of music whatsoever.
So you find inspiration in many different places. You're not even though
I think. Yeah, it was more for me. It was about the lyrics, I think, more than anything else. And I felt I used to read a lot, sort of Tolkien books and all sorts of things. And I try to find inspiration from anywhere. I mean, we've always maintained that we kind of write observational music. It's about anything and everything.
Just like poetry, really.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
You seem quite prolific in terms of writing a lot of music.
Certainly, yeah. I go through fits and starts. Probably the same as any musician. I don't force songs. They'll just drop into my head. I can't even claim full ownership, to be honest. They fall in my head, and then I need to get them out. And it just so happens at the moment there's a lot of things falling in my head.
That's great. Yeah, and it's like really almost like a mystic describing an at-one experience. It's just it comes from source or it comes from somewhere else and just kind of through you.
Yeah, I suppose, and that sounds possibly more glorious than it is. I've very, very rarely sat down and thought, I'm going to write a song. It doesn't, well, certainly for me, that's not how it happens. Something will pop into my head, and usually with a melody as well. And then, I'm not the best guitar player in the world. I'm not the best anything in the world. But I will try and pick out the melody on the piano or on the guitar and then make something from it.
Okay.
Hey, let me let you do that and I'll talk to Ross for a minute. What part of England, where's that at over there in Kettering?
Kettering, in fact.
Kettering, thank you.
We're in the middle. We're in the Midlands-ish, in Northamptonshire. We're sort of an hour away from London, upwards, north.
Okay, well, if somebody says London, maybe most Americans then can figure out from where it is.
Yeah.
I guess I wonder, English folks over there, if they know much about the geography over here in America.
From my limited experience in America, I think we know a little bit more about America than certainly some of the people I met in America knew about England.
Yeah, I would say most of our knowledge is pretty limited.
I used to live in England, so I lived in Buxton, or as they call it there, Buxton.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I was my first husband was a Buxton lad.
Okay.
Yeah. So he would, when he'd walk down the street, he'd say, "How art, lad?"
Yeah.
I,
Classic Northern
I
accent.
found
Yeah.
I found you on SoundCloud, and I'll be grabbing that.
All right, cool.
Real quick, how's the butt? Did you get your butt fixed?
Well, it was streaming before, so I'm not really sure what the problem is. So
Okay, to stop it and reset it.
I stopped it, reset it.
Okay, I'll go check it in just a second. I'm doing multitasking like you can't believe right now.
Oh.
Real quick, I would just want to add to
I
point.
probably could believe it. Probably could believe it.
The English accent is responsible. You won't believe this, but even the Southern accent, these R's, you find in China, when they say China, adding the R, the Boston accents ties into the West Virginia hillbilly and the Arkansas hillbilly, like tobacco or backer, it's shortened to. So we have a lot of ties to England. Generally, America is considered Anglo-Saxon, and now a melting pot or a salad bowl, as some people say, which is pretty cool.
Well, I think it's fair to say that some American dialect is more pure English than the English we have here now.
Yeah.
Oh.
In terms of, the way it's used. Because obviously our language is developed and we have lots of regional accents and whatnot. Whereas I think,
Or like you say me instead of my.
Various things.
Love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the early 90s, when I was married to an English guy. Well, he's actually Irish, but he grew up in Northern England. Okay. You couldn't get like English tea and stuff over here, so we used to like he used to fill half his suitcase with English tea to bring it back. It's just funny the things you miss when you leave home, right?
Well, do you have Earl Grey over there?
Yeah.
Good. That means I can
But
visit.
do English people actually drink that? I'm just wondering.
They do in my house.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was trained how to brew a proper pot of English tea. You have to warm the pot first, and this whole sort of.
If you go into Fortnum and Mason's, maybe, but I don't think people generally bother with that.
Really? Is it like a class thing? I mean, is it like a middle class thing to do that, or? Yeah,
mate, I guess if you're going for a swanky high tea somewhere, then you'd possibly expect that. But I don't think people do that most of the time.
Yeah, I bet my husband was just ex-husband, I should say, was pulling a fast one on me.
Well, I suppose if you're talking about making a proper cup of tea, then that would be the way to do it.
Yeah. All right. So back to the music. We were talking about your influences, which were really, really wide, and you were talking about having a jukebox in your house and how you really don't stick to one genre. You find your inspiration wherever it may be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if I like something, I like it, regardless of what it is or where it came from. But I guess musically, my main inspiration has probably come from folk and folk rock, or certainly the way that I write. But then, I mean, even our band, we go, we've done gigs where people have said we sound like, Bright Eyes, and we've done other gigs where people said we sounded like Nirvana. So, it's just when it comes to songwriting, there are three of us out of the four of us in the band that write for the band. And, last week, for instance, I wrote almost like a rock ballad kind of thing, and then 2 days later wrote a very, very almost very kind of twee melodic, very acoustic thing. And then about a month ago I wrote arguably what would be considered to be a kind of reggae dub kind of tune. So it's whatever comes out at the time.
And I bet the listeners really like that, the variety of. I
think we're just covering all bases because not that many people are ever going to like us. So if we try and cover all bases, we'll get a bigger audience.
So are festivals still very big in England right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you're doing that too, festivals?
Yeah, we're doing a few. Yeah, I think presently maybe not as many as last year, but we're doing quite a few. I mean, we enjoy doing the smaller festivals because we've played some of the bigger festivals, but you get a smaller audience because, you know, obviously everyone's a lot more spread out, and we're presently going to be on the smaller stages. But I mean, yeah, we'll go wherever we're asked, really, you know.
So when you go to a festival, do you camp out and things like that?
Yeah, always. Yeah. I mean, it's as much about doing that as it is anything else. If I've got an excuse to go and live in a field for 3 days and have a couple of cans of beer, then I'm a very happy boy.
Yeah, the simple things in life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what are you noticing is like going on at the festivals? The things that people talk about when they're, you know, hanging out at night by their tent or whatever. What is it that people are in England care about? Like,
I don't remember.
For lack of a better way of putting it.
I don't know. It's just such a beautiful vibe when you go to a festival and everyone's on a very similar wavelength, and we're just having a nice time, you know, enjoying life. And yeah, I mean, I guess people talk about, you know, what they've seen that day, what they've listened to, what they're hoping to see, but it's just cool, you know. It almost doesn't matter what you talk about because the energy is there.
And is this all different ages that are hanging out, from real young to, you know, middle aged and older, or is it?
Yeah, well, I think the festivals most festivals will cater for all ages, but some, you know, obviously depending on, usually the main style of music will dictate what kind of demographic, you know. But yeah, certainly a lot of the smaller folk festivals are very child friendly, and it's just really cool to see a really diverse group of people enjoying the same thing.
I know that I used to take my child not only to powwows but also festivals as well, and kids like to dance. They love to dance. And
absolutely,
they still have that unself-consciousness about it.
Absolutely. Well, it's just pure enjoyment, isn't it? They're dancing because that's what's in them to do. Yeah. I mean, I've got a couple of 3-4 kids, and they love it. I mean, if I play something local in the day, then I'll take them with me, and they really enjoy it, and they love to dance, and they're already very much getting into the music, you know. So yeah, it's cool.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's really good. I'm glad.
Well, they've just formed their own band.
Your kids?
Yeah, and bearing in mind they're 8, 7, 4 and 4, but they've just started their own band called Bilbo and the Horses.
Aww.
And presently they're rubbish. But they've got some great ideas. And they keep arguing, basically, if they had their way, we'd have 3 drummers and a trombone player. But I mean, you know, I don't think that's been done before.
Probably not. But you never know. It could work out. You know, they might get a groove going.
Well, they love playing together, and I've basically, you know, in the house they've got anything they want. There's a little drum kit here. We've got a piano, banjo, mandolin, guitars, you know. So anything they want to choose to do, then yeah, I will help them as I can until they're probably, by the time they're 12, they would have well overtaken me.
Were you formally trained in music, or did you just pick it up yourself?
As a child, I had piano lessons, and then I was really, really happy when I broke my arm and I didn't have to do it anymore. I was in a brass band for a few years as well, played tenor horn, but then when it came around to playing the guitar, I had a few lessons here and there, but really it was kind of just exploring the fretboard, I suppose.
What do you think it is about the guitar that's so that makes people want to pick it up?
Because it looks really cool in your arms. I don't know. It's probably one of the most accessible. Yeah, and I mean, it's not the hardest thing in the world to play. Everybody kind of, I don't know, it's just a really good songwriter's tool.
Do you think you can learn it at any age?
Yeah, I do. I think at 5 years old is a really, really good time for someone to pick up a guitar, particularly if they want to be, you know, like virtuoso in it. But at the same time, I think pressuring a child into doing it could have an adverse effect as well. It's a difficult balance. But I mean, I know people that have in their 40s and even 50s that have just started playing, you know, this year. And I absolutely encourage them to keep on going with it, because, you know, people that say, oh, you know, it's too late to start now, I think is just, that's an excuse. That's not a thing.
Yeah, because I've often thought about trying to learn it. And I never could do it before because my arthritis was wasn't controlled. But I have it really well controlled now, and I'd really like to try it.
Yeah, I think I would say that you ought to.
All right. Well, thanks for the
encouragement. I think there's an instrument there for everybody, you know.
Yeah, and I'm already a powwow singer, so I sing at Native American cultural festivals with my family, and we just sing around one drum. We all play a big drum together, and sing songs that have been passed down, but also songs that come to us, like you're describing, come to you. And many of them are in native languages, and but some of them are just vocables, and the vocables are so different. You know, different tribes can sing the same song together.
In that they're not in any particular language, it's just
vocables. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I do know the type of music. I'll be honest that I don't know very much about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah. Most people, it's about as obscure a genre as you could ever, become an expert in. But you know what? It takes a lifetime to learn the songs, because you're also preserving the languages at the same time, and you're learning the languages with the songs. And you're, even though you might be a professional, you might get paid to sing at powwows, you're still learning. Like there's never an end to what the intricacies of what you could learn about singing powwow songs.
No, I could imagine. Yeah. Well, I shall endeavour to try and write something powwow. I'll have a report on your desk by Monday.
Excellent. Well, I often, I get a lot of ideas about how to fuse folk and powwow music together. So I would like to try to up my skills so that I could actually manifest those visions of the fusion that I have in my head, to get it out there.
Yeah, it's absolutely always worth exploring, I think. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. So we have about 15 minutes or so before the first break.
Okay.
I can't play one of your songs, but if you want to play one, you want to see if it can technically be done, try to play one song.
I can try.
Okay, cool.
This feels quite alien. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, this song is called Holes in My Shoes, and I wrote it because I had holes in my shoes. Although presently I'm barefoot. Well, I'm wearing down holes in my shoes from pushing the world around with my feet, and my legs are near busted, my eyes can't be trusted, the world just keeps on running away. And I'm wearing a hole in my soul, and I can't seem to patch myself up. Well, I'm a drinking and I'm a thinking and I'm a drinking. I think the drink sprung a leak in the aforementioned soul. And I'm throwing my whole life away for someone to find it someday, in the ticking of time, or a young person's eyes who is fixing holes in the soles of his shoes. And I'm tearing down walls in my mind, and I'm running down holes I can't find. And I'm picking up pieces of an old broken shell that don't seem to fit me no more. And I'm walking through fire for you, just to fall down as we do. And we pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off and just leap back in the fire. And I'm trying not to bleed myself dry, and I'm trying not to ask myself why. The dark clouds are looming, and I'm only human, and humans are just monkeys after all. And humans are made out of monkeys. Just monkeys that learn to stand tall. Just monkeys with weapons and all. Just monkeys who become so confused. Just monkeys with holes in their shoes.
Ross Alexander. Beautiful. I love
Thank
it.
you.
Sounded really good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just monkeys with holes in our shoes. I think you actually would make a really good northern style powwow singer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. The northern style, there's two styles of powwow singing. Northern, which is sung real high, and the southern, which is sung really low. And the northern style is modeled after the eagle.
Is there anything in the middle?
No, there's nothing in the middle. It's either really high or the low. But there's all kinds of harmony too. So
Cool.
the men and the women harmonize. But the northern is really, really high. And it's funny because I'm southern by blood, so my tribe is Choctaw, so I'm a southern tribe. But I married a northern Potawatomi, Northern Cheyenne, and I'm trained to sing Lakota songs because I'm adopted. Lakota, which is a northern style.
Okay.
And my voice is very low. So when I first learned, I was singing with men, and I would sing like right at their same level. I sort of hid my voice behind the lead singer and learned it. But then I gradually learned how to get higher. But it's just your voice is very unique. I could pick it out anywhere. Even if you were singing along with some other people.
Yeah, well, I've been told that before, but no one ever tends to say whether it's good or bad. They just say unique.
Oh, unique in a good way. Unique is good.
I'll take that. But yeah, it must be really lovely to sing with lots of other people, and for there not to be any instrumentation. So basically, all the music is coming from your voices collectively. That must be a really nice thing.
It is the most powerful experience I think that you could have. I think it's something that we're meant to have a lot more of, and that's missing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because it would have been almost primal, wouldn't it? It would have happened way before anyone had developed any kind of melodic instrument, I think.
Yes. Yeah. And so, and that's the thing is our voices are really the instruments and the drum, and that's it.
Yeah.
And there's something very powerful. And I'll tell you, the other thing is like with you and the audience, your band and the audience, you feed off of each other. And so there's an energetic thing that goes on with music and with the audience and the singers. And at the powwow, it's the dancers and the singers and the drum. As we feed off of each other, and the energy it builds. And on some songs, it's like a religious experience. It's hard to describe, but the songs are thought of as sacred beings. So you become part of something bigger than yourself, which I think we're really supposed to have that experience a lot more than we do.
Well, it sounds almost sort of shamanic, doesn't it? In that, people get so very much into it, and it's such a powerful thing that you become in almost trance-like state,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the powwow songs are rounds, so there's, so it keeps going around and around. Yeah, usually 4, what we call push-ups. And then sometimes if someone really likes it, like a veteran will come up and blow a eagle bone whistle, which is a super high pitched whistle. And then you have to sing 4 more. And then, or someone will come up and rub their...
Is that like a rewind?
Yeah, it's like sing another round, and or someone will come up with their eagle feather and brush it, or their fan and brush it across the drum and throw some tobacco on the drum, and then you got to sing more. And you sing all day long too. So like from noon until maybe 6 o'clock at night, you're singing. So that puts you in another state as well, and you become part of the people that you sing with on your drum. Like you become so tight, just like you would with a band, but you kind of all go through the same stuff. And like, if you don't have your issues worked out, they come up and you all got to like work it out together, just like a band, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Oh, it's good stuff. But I've pretty much missed the whole festival scene here in the United States. I did go to Lollapalooza back in the 90s, and it was actually my idea to put the cannabis tables at Lollapalooza.
Okay.
So but since then, I haven't really been to festivals and things. I've been doing powwows instead. But I want to get back into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I very much like to do Burning Man.
Burning Man, yeah. I've never been to that, but my twin brother, I think he went to the first few ones that they had. And around that time, I was living in the Bay Area in San Francisco, where they had all those sort of planning meetings and things, and then they would have sort of mini Burning Man parties on North Beach, which is in the beach in San Francisco. And it was just classic, really, really fun stuff, like, a fire on the beach and, a bunch of hippies in loincloths and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Fun.
I've got friends that go, but it's a bit of a round trip for me. So maybe one day.
Yeah. And unfortunately, by then we'll probably be so like corporatized or something. Kind of like Glastonbury or something. Going to Glastonbury. I mean, back in the 80s or something, or 90s, that was the thing.
Yeah.
But now it's
I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. I don't think there's any direct bus from Kettering to Burning Man. But but even with Glastonbury, we still go most years, and a lot of it has become sort of capitalist endeavour. But Michael Eavis, and his heart's still very, very much in it, and there are still, the main vibe of the festival is still there, and it's such a vast festival that you can get away from all of that and be in the Healing Fields or up at the Stone Circle and be part of something very, very different. You could almost argue that every single person that goes has a different festival experience, depending on what it is you want, because it is epic. I think I'm right in saying it's the most densely populated city possibly in Europe for 3 days, and it's huge. You can't describe it, so you can have whatever experience you want there. If you wanted to, you could just lay in a field and do wood carving and massages and stuff for a week without realizing that there was music going on.
Wow.
It's amazing. And
that can be very therapeutic to just do wood carvings and have a massage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I must admit, I don't think I've been to the main stage for the last 2 years, just because, as you say, I guess it's pop culture. If it's what people want, then that's what will be on, But I tend to spend most of my time at the smaller stages, and in the more sort of slightly remote fields, and seeing up and coming bands, and just having a nice time, just really ambling around until you find something that you want to spend some time with. Yeah,
so it's worth it. So it would be worth me going to Glastonbury, and it'd be worth you going to Burning Man.
Absolutely.
Just to do it.
Yeah.
When is Glastonbury? What time of year does that happen?
It's the summer solstice, so around the 20-something-ish June, 25th. I don't know. Yeah.
So you'll be going to that. Will you?
It's looking hopeful. I mean, luckily we get to play, but but I mean, I think there's 84 stages, and I'm pretty confident we're on the 85th. So yeah, I mean, although it's really nice to say that we've played, it's not as prestigious as perhaps people think at the moment, but it's still a beautiful thing. You know, we're really, really chuffed. And if one person hears us that has not heard us before and enjoyed what we did, then that's the battle, isn't it? You know, so it's cool.
So with the festivals like Glastonbury, is that more like because you are playing it, it sort of pays for itself?
Well, we've tended to work it. We help with some of the recycling and things like that, and get involved. And because they're so grateful for those type of people that just help make it tick, then you're very, very well looked after. And that's how we got in terms of doing little gigs and things there. But I mean, as you can imagine, every band in the UK wants to be there, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, not just the UK.
Absolutely. The world. Yeah.
Yeah. It's huge.
They do have a TP section. So,
Do they really?
Yeah. You can get some power. You get your powwow on.
Really? Wow.
Reboot your butt.
I need to do that. Yeah, well, I'll have to get Grimmer on that situation. So, yeah. I often wonder, who's going to be putting a teepee up in England, but natives are all over the world, and in fact, there's a big powwow scene in all places. Germany.
Really?
Yeah. And a lot of Germans come over to the Sundances as well.
Oh, cool. Well, I guess as you say, I mean, everyone in the world. I mean, the world is such an incredibly diverse place that everyone can get involved, can't they? I mean, I'm not aware of a powwow scene anywhere near here, but I mean, for instance, there's a big bluegrass scene, where we are, and obviously that's not native to England. I mean, some of the instrumentation is, but it's a very, very Southern American thing, isn't it? But there's a big bluegrass scene, so it's cool.
Yeah, and where I live is like the Blue Ridge Mountains, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's the heart of where the music is, where the bluegrass music is from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm getting a little message saying that the teepees are probably hipster teepees.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they're probably hugely expensive to rent out for the week if you don't want to slum it in a tent. Yeah, but yeah.
That's just there's big controversy about like people at festivals wearing war bonnets, the native headdresses and things like that.
Yeah, no, I've heard various things about it. Yeah, I would imagine probably most of the people in the TP section are beards and turnips, and I don't think that was a Native American Indian thing, was it?
Not really. Yeah, the reason is because not even all natives can have, like a headdress. It's something like every single feather in it is earned.
Yeah.
So it's a really, honorable thing to actually have one of those. So for someone like just to like fake it on a weekend, that's why people are just like, oh.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. But in the same token, I would imagine most of those people it just doesn't occur to them that what they're doing could in any way cause offense to anyone, but
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Some of them they want to like offend, but
yeah, if people are aware of what they're doing and how someone else might feel about it, then they're just idiots.
Yeah, for sure. It's like the ultimate entitlement. I have the right to offend anybody I want because I want to do what I want.
But there's that argument, isn't it, whether someone is being offensive or it's the other party taking offense, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, it's funny. I think for natives, people don't seem to realize just how different their sort of thinking is about natives. For
Mm.
instance, there's the Redskins controversy about the football team
Okay.
name in Washington D.C. and
Yeah.
so it's just like it's a racist it's a racist insult that
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
word.
No, I would agree with that. And I mean that I know they're probably arguing that it's always been that way, so it's okay. But that
Right.
things need to be redressed, and I think that is something. I mean, I'll be honest, it's not something that I'd considered, but I think that's something that should be redressed. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I mean,
then
because there was the bullets, wasn't there? And they changed it to
right.
something else because of the gun crime, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not like PC gone too far just to have common, human decency. That's
No,
not.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and then the thing is that natives then, when they tell people they're offended, they're then gaslighted by saying, "But no, this is honoring you." It's like, no, you're not honoring me if I don't feel honored.
Yeah, that's
Kind
almost
of
a
has to be like
patronizing
a
thing to
two-way
say.
street,
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. I
Mm.
think I think that Westerners, in particular, are fascinated by natives because it's just this sort of shamanic inner shaman that's just reaching out for something of meaning,
Yeah.
for something mystical. And so the native archetype sort of fits that bill. But for natives, natives get to be a walking archetype, which is not fun.
No, absolutely.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. Is Kevin Costner considered to be some sort of
well, we'll talk about Kevin Costner when we get back.
No, we don't need to. He's
No,
not the
okay.
best.
All right, a few minutes. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right. Welcome back to The Bridge with Kira. This is the second hour. I'm your host, Kira Young, and you've reached me on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, and hopefully we're simulcasting with Real Liberty Media tonight. Vince is riding in my sidecar, and my guest tonight is Ross Alexander, who is a musician from the UK, and we're talking about all kinds of stuff tonight. So stick around. Hi, Ross. Are you back with us?
I am.
All right. Great. I do have a funny story about Kevin Costner, actually. Yeah,
I bet it's funnier than him.
probably much more funny. So the Lakota language, women have a certain way that they speak, and men have a certain way that they speak, and like in a lot of other language. When he was learning Lakota for the movie Dances with Wolves, he was taught to speak Lakota by a woman. So, that's sort of like an inside Lakota joke that he's, the guy who
brilliant.
talks like a woman. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That is a good Kevin Costner story.
Yeah. And when you, listen to the Lakota that they speak in movies, I call it Shakespeare Lakota because nobody really speaks like that. It's more sort of a theatrical way of speaking Lakota.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little sidebar there. So
Much like in Hollywood movies, people don't tend to talk in England like the Queen or Dick Van Dyke.
right. Exactly. There's a lot of I get to see a lot of good English television shows and things like that on Netflix. And
Okay.
I'm not sure why I like them so much, but that's pretty much the majority of what I watch on Netflix in terms of TV. I
Cool.
prefer it to American television.
QI? Do you watch QI?
No. So
Oh.
what do I watch? I've recently got into the Black Mirror, which freaks me out.
Oh, wow.
So I have to take a break from that.
Yeah, it's quite heavy, yeah.
Usually Netflix, you want to get through the whole season, so you just keep playing it over. After one episode, I'm like, okay, I can just put that down for now.
Yeah, well, with Black Mirror, you don't have to watch it sequentially, do you? I mean, it's
right.
not. each one is not related to the other,
Right.
essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a continuation. It's like a new exploration of an idea of.
Yeah, and it's quite heavy stuff. I mean, it's very, very clever, but it's quite heavy.
Yeah. So I like that. That's really good. But one
Cool.
thing I noticed is that there's a really limited amount of actors over there. Like everybody that acts over is like all in everything. Like you see the same actors over and over and over. Not as much like you do over here. There's a lot more
That's
actors.
'cause there's only one school in England that teaches actors, and they only take 20 kids a year. That's,
Ah.
that's not true. That's not true. No, I don't know why that is, actually. I didn't realise that was the case. I suppose it depends what you're watching, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Last Tango in Halifax. I watched that. What else?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, that's a good one. And they have a lot of cop shows over there now that are different from the ones over here. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't watch a great deal of TV, if I'm honest, but I do enjoy Family Guy before I go to sleep.
Do you really?
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
have a TV. All I have is Netflix. So, yeah, it's too expensive. I just can't afford it.
Fair enough.
And I'm like, I'm not going to pay them to program me.
That's very, very true.
So forget
Yeah.
it. You used to
So then
stress
we-
me out. Like if I was, watching the news and things like that with the presidential election, I would be so stressed out right now. But all I do is go home and take a hot bath, watch some Netflix, and pretend like it's not happening. So I do
Yeah,
fine.
that's probably the best way, yeah. Yeah, I tend to just do cartwheels and drink rum.
I mean, it's all a big game anyway, so why should I let them jerk my emotions around about it? So how it's going to turn out is how it's going to turn out, no matter how I feel about it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah.
It's always the same, the puppets being pulled by the strings. So, yeah.
And my theory is that, Trump got put into the whole game so that people would vote for Hillary Clinton, because they would see her as the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, I don't even believe that Trump exists. I just think he's a CGI.
I wish he didn't.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, obviously, what the media we see over here is potentially romanticized in some way. I don't know, but yeah, Donald Trump he's a bad human.
Yeah, he's a pretty classic textbook narcissist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And because of that, people who sort of know a little something about it are just like, ugh. Just, ugh. Yeah, immediately.
But it's funny because I think in England it would appear that on the map that people are of that mindset. But I know quite a lot of American people, particularly sort of on my Facebook and things like that, and not one of them, is a Trump follower in any way, shape or form. And I mean, I suppose, have you seen any of the Louis Theroux programs? Have you heard of him?
Mm-mm.
Okay. He tends to go over to America and expose certain groups, which to us is just, I mean, I would certainly like to think that it doesn't happen here. But yeah, he's very good at exposing these people that are just, I don't know, just have these crazy, crazy ideals and beliefs. But
like snake handlers or what? What kind of groups are we talking about? Neo-Nazis or?
Yeah, neo-Nazis, KKK, just people with very, very confused, extreme views on things that are just you can't believe. But you should watch some of his shows.
Yeah.
And he's not for a second suggesting that this is America. He's just saying this kind of thing goes on in America. And I mean, obviously we have it here as well, but it would seem more extreme. But then maybe we're just not seeing what's happening here. I don't know,
Yeah. Oh, there's definitely some neo-Nazis up there in England.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
And they're all online, talking about, talking shit about Indians. I'll tell you that much.
I can believe it, yeah.
I mean, yeah, and those Red Eyes folks there from Sweden or whatever, Red Ice Creations.
Hmm.
Wow, that Facebook page is just all neo-Nazis.
Okay, I haven't seen that, but
Yeah.
hmm.
That's the only place I've ever been called a wagon burner.
Wow,
Yeah, pretty.
I've never even heard that term of expression before.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, thanks for the honor. That title. Yeah,
Kevin Costner was good in The Bodyguard, wasn't he?
he was great in that. He was
Just
awesome.
in case we get too deep.
Yeah, I like that guy. No, he's probably a cool guy. I don't know.
I doubt it.
Probably not.
Is he listening?
I don't know. I don't know if he's a fan or not. Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably won't ever hear this at all. But you never know. Anything is possible in this world.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But I have one more thing to say about Trump. I think that the media is being used to trump up Trump, like make him appear as though he is actually electable, so that people are terrified. That's the whole plan, is to terrify people, so they're like, okay, well, I guess I have to vote for Hillary, just to scare the crap out of people. But
yeah, well,
yet there's no chance.
It's almost propaganda or spin doctoring, isn't it? And it happens the world over. It happens absolutely everywhere.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
really.
And he's got really crap hair.
Yeah. Yes. And that's all kids do in school, is like make fun of him, draw pictures of him, like watch parodies of him,
Yeah.
Like
I've seen a few. Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
ever seen those videos about Illuminati Confirmed, where it's like they're making fun of basically the Illuminati videos where people are calling other people Illuminati, which is hilarious, I think.
Yeah.
And so they make these wild assertions, but it's supposed to be funny. So my son made up one of those today about Donald Trump, so I'm probably going to do a little video with him about it.
Oh,
because
cool.
it's
I'd like
really
to do that.
funny.
Yeah.
But children are scared too. They're reading what their parents are feeling, and they're hearing the things off the news, and children are scared too about it. So that's not good.
Yeah. You've only just got rid of George Bush.
Yep. And then Obama was a pretty big disappointment.
Well, I mean, he was the champion of the world, wasn't he? Or certainly that was the light he was painted in. And but he's a charming president, isn't he? And I mean, I like Bill Clinton. I thought he was all right. But again, it depends really what you're allowed to see or what you're supposed to see.
Well, I'll tell you, with Bill Clinton though, times were good.
Yeah.
There were plenty of jobs, plenty of good paying jobs. It wasn't, you could graduate college and get a job. Like now it's like, okay, welcome to McDonald's, Yeah, that kind of thing. Everything has just imploded. The economy, everything. And,
but it's a similar situation here as well, I think,
Yeah, it's a worldwide thing that the banks
absolutely
did to all of us and got away with. The psychopaths in charge, as I call them.
Yeah. Yes, that way. Yeah, I just want to go and live in a hole in the ground and not worry about what's going on anywhere else.
I'm just going to stick my feet in the creek and catch some crawdads and put on a big pot of grits and make something, Yeah, a simpler life. It makes you want to get off the grid and just kind of keep to yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really, really does.
Dream.
That's my biggest goal, is to get off the grid. I don't want to participate in it, and it's going to go down. I mean, not to sound apocalyptic, but it is. It's going to go down. It's extraordinarily fragile. It hasn't been updated for a long time, basically since it was put in. So it's an inevitable situation because.
But we'll all have moved to the moon by then, so
right. Because all of our tax dollars go to funding war. And so none of it has gone to our infrastructure for quite some time. So America's literally crumbling, physically crumbling to the ground. Yeah, that's what's going on in America. That's that's probably what I think is the biggest message, besides we don't want any part of this, that I want to send to the world, is that our government is doing what they're doing against our will. And no matter what you're seeing on TV, about these extremist groups, or about people who support whatever's going on, or wars, but like the vast majority of people want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no, I can well imagine. Yeah.
And it's just like that over there too. I mean,
yes, yeah. As I say, my understanding is it's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, the general consensus doesn't want it, but it would appear to outsiders that it is what they want. It's weird.
Yeah.
As I say, it's spin doctoring.
Mm-hmm. And since the 9/11, it's fascism. Really, it's growing fascism. I mean, here we have it in many different forms of, forced vaccinations. And you've got to bow down if you want your kids to go to school. But if you're a right-wing Christian, you can be excused.
Well, I'm glad that I'm a right-wing Christian.
Are you?
I sang a song about humans being monkeys.
Vince said that Kevin Costner joined the chat at Freedom Slips.
Oh, I hope that's true.
Yeah, right on, Kevin.
He's probably a Trump follower.
Yeah, probably. My husband.
Get on live. I'm sorry. It appears that Kevin Costner is wanting some royalties from Kira and Ross.
Is he? He's hit hard times, has he?
That's a good point. I've not seen him anything for years.
Yeah, that's true.
He has joined the chat here at freedomslips.com.
I bet there's a lot of grammatical errors.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
I got in just a little bit quick with that. 3 minutes, and it will be 4:20 in the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas.
Right on.
You that cannabis can.
Enjoy yourself, Vince. Take your medicine.
In 3 minutes, it will be 10:20 in Kettering. There aren't any mountains here, but we are on the top of a hill.
I'm sure it's a lovely hill.
It's the best one I can see from here.
Right on. So I would certainly love to hear another song if you're up for it.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Yeah. This one's called We Are Gone, We Are Dust.
Awesome.
Be wearing the right boots. And when the time comes for a man to swallow his pride, well, be sure to dig from
so it seems. And there's a man in my hand who knows which way to turn. And there's a boy in my heart who's got so much to learn. And there's a light in your eye. It takes me from this place. And there's a story in your mouth. It's written on your face. We are dust, and we are nothing, but we try. But we try. And we are dust, and we are nothing, but we try. But we try. We are dust, and we are nothing, but we try. But we try.
Right on.
Thanks.
Beautiful.
Thank
It's
you.
weird when you don't hear the clapping, right?
I was
But
clapping inside.
yeah, always. It is really awkward when you first start out, and it's like you don't know what to expect, and you don't know what that balance is between just sort of staying in yourself and being open to the audience, you know? Yeah.
I've never played in front of an audience. No. It was about 3 people, maybe.
Yep. I think probably, I don't know, maybe 500 people's about the average powwow audience, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I've played in fact, I enjoy playing in front of a bigger audience. I feel almost more detached. I don't like meeting more than 4 people in one go, but I'm quite happy to play in front of 1,000 people.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got a good question here from freedomslips.com in the chat room.
Mm-hmm.
Can they have my number? No, go on.
Oh, I thought y'all wouldn't hear me for a second. Yeah, how come the English accent disappears when you sing?
That's a very good question. Maybe I get accused of stylizing my voice. I don't know. It's just the way I sing when I don't know. Yeah, generally speaking, I guess it probably doesn't, but maybe mine does.
Yeah.
It falls inside the guitar. I don't know.
I don't think it really does go away completely.
I thought that was interesting. Anyway,
It's a good question. It's a fair question.
Yeah. I have the kind of opposite orientation towards audiences, I think, that you might have. Well, no, I like singing at powwows because the attention is all on the dancers instead of on me.
Yeah.
Like, I really like that.
Mm.
And then it surprises people when they find out it's me singing, because they're like, "Who's the white lady on the drum? What is she doing?" I had one guy say to me one time, "Wow, you sound like a real Indian."
Wow. I'm sure he meant well.
Yeah, no. He did.
Actually follows in chat. Pat says the accent is due more to the consonants and use of everything but the voice box. And Sam Squatch says most accents diminish. So
Okay, well, I've got a couple of things to say about that. thank you to Pat for clearing it up. And I'm really glad you found the Sasquatch. You've been tracking that thing for years.
I know. He's
But-
the world record holder of hide and seek challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listener Hans Z come over from Real Liberty Media. Welcome, Hans. Also, it is easier for a Brit to sound American than it is for an American to sound Brit.
That's just to do with intelligence.
Oh, that was right.
Oh, I don't
Sorry,
think so.
I didn't mean that.
Not at all. Not at all. It's all right.
Alrighty, I am.
All right, give it up, Vince.
The English accent must be up there near Mountain Home.
No, that's really cool. Cool.
So have you ever been to the Appalachians, for instance?
No, not at all. I've been to New York once, and that's it. Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't consider that to be America. I mean, I had a beautiful time, met some amazing people. It was really, really cool. But yeah, I mean, America's such a vast spectrum, isn't it? So I'd love to travel America. I really would.
I think you would love coming to this area and experiencing the bluegrass festivals in America. They're incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's how I kind of started out, really. I was just fiddling around with the guitar, and I fell in with a couple of people I knew that were playing, really quite, sort of straight, authentic bluegrass music. And that's how I picked up, they said, "Oh, do you want to play the mandolin?" I was like, yeah, definitely. What's a mandolin? Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And I guess in a similar respect to you with the powwow stuff that you do, because we used to sit around in a huge group, maybe 20 people, and, people would take it in turns to do breaks, and the harmonies are absolutely gorgeous, and, it was really, really nice. And to see people playing dobro and 5-string banjo with such passion and vigor, it was really, really nice thing to be a part of. I mean, all I would sort of do at that time was just chop and maybe do a couple of lead breaks and a couple of songs, but it was just so nice to be part of it. It was really cool.
Wow, that sounds great.
Mm.
I know there's a lot of cross-cultural, I think music is what actually conveys cross-cultural meaning better than anything else. So a song can speak to you cross-culturally more than what actual words or language could ever do.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Yeah, totally. And it's all come from somewhere, isn't it? I mean, you can argue that, Delta blues came from early English folk music, and the Irish music and bluegrass music are intertwined, and, so many things. And it's just, it doesn't matter, yeah. Again, as I said earlier, if I hear a song that I enjoy, it doesn't matter where it came from or how it came about. It's just, I'm just glad it exists.
Mm-hmm. That it speaks to you. Yeah. Well, you're certainly welcome to come camp out and on our 6 acres by the creek.
Well,
anytime you like.
Expect me in the morning.
Call the airlines, yeah. And we it's literally so incredible where we've been living the past 4 years that I walk out in the morning to let the dogs out, and a bald eagle flies by, and there's like a golden eagle nest right in our backyard, and pileated woodpeckers making their wild call. And last night I did some recordings down by the creek of the frogs that were making incredible noises under the full moon.
Cool.
Yeah, the price you pay is that our only so-called choice for internet is satellite, which is a scam. Because you pay all this money and then you only get 20 gigs of data, and so you run out of that in 2 days, and so then your internet is slow for the rest of the month. So that's why I do the show out of my truck. I have to come into town and hook my laptop up to my iPhone hotspot, and that's how I do the show. That's how I get this out there.
To be fair, I've done a similar thing, but not. It's just because it's my choice. But similarly, you're welcome here. We can get a burger and a pint for the equivalent of $7, and you might get a ride home in a police car. So
Right.
no, it's okay where we are, but it's suburban.
My memories of Buxton were the whole family would go out to the pub on Christmas Eve, and
Wow.
everybody would get drunk. Like, even grandparents get drunk on Christmas Eve, and and everybody walks home, of course.
Yeah.
And then you see like little piles of like curry vomit on the way home because everybody's gotten really drunk. So they're
Yeah, I think that's our social thing in England. Yeah, just get drunk until you're sick. Every day. Yeah,
every day. When I went to school in London, Ealing College, and
okay.
The student union was actually a pub, and so that for an American, I was like, oh wow, because I was 19 and I wasn't old enough to drink over here, but I could over there. So yeah, which I don't really have much of a tolerance, so it wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. People were like, how could you get so drunk from one beer? You're 6'1". How is that possible? I'm like, I don't know.
You're 6'1".
Yeah.
See, your picture, you're about 2 inches tall on my screen.
Yep. I'm in Amazon. So I got all the tall genes.
Cool.
In the family. Yeah. My twin brother is 6'7".
Wowzers.
Yeah. And I've got loads of uncles that were over 6 feet. And but my husband, he's like 6'2", but his father was 6'9".
Wow.
And he was a full-blooded Northern Cheyenne, and at one point in time they were the tallest people in the world. So that was before the Europeans got over here and the diet changed from buffalo and berries to fry bread and beer, you know.
And now they're 6'9" wide.
Yeah, exactly. Funny how that works, huh?
Well, I think on a good day I'm about 5'8.5".
Yeah. I actually don't even care. I wear heels and stuff, which makes me like 6'4", you know. And I just found out, this really blew me away. I just found out at work that when people don't know my name, they're like, who's the tall, hot chick? I was like, no way. Somebody told me that. I heard somebody say that. I was like, no way.
That's exactly how they refer to me as well.
Is that right? So, I told my husband, he's like, enjoy it while it lasts. I said, I will.
Well, you'll always be tall. You'll always be tall.
Right. They'll always be tall. That's true. Let's hope, right?
Yeah.
Let's hope. So, did I say the F-bomb again? Oh, no, I didn't. I think this is the first show in a while where I haven't accidentally let the F-bomb slip. And
you did an S word earlier.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, what time is it there? Like 5 o'clock or something?
Yeah, but the FCC doesn't like the F-bomb on the radio. They just don't like it.
Well, them.
Yeah, and but you know what? Over there at People's Internet Radio, you can drop as many F-bombs as you like.
Well, it's 10:30 here, and I'm halfway through a bottle of rum, so
halfway through a bottle of rum.
This is England.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum.
That's my next song.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right on. Let's do another song if you don't mind.
No, cool. What should I do? Okay. Can I say the word shit then?
Absolutely.
That's okay, because I just did. This is just a little short one.
Okay.
Do you have orange girls in the States?
Oh, yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah. This is about them. Or, in fact, not having to be like them. You spend thousands a year on looking pretty. At the end of the day, you still feel shitty, cause you don't think you're as good as her. You can buy perfect hair and perfect skin, perfect eyes and a perfect grin, but you don't feel you're as good as her. For your health to keep, to force your oh so natural sleep, or so the label claims. Well, darling, I think you're beautiful, beautiful as anyone can be. You're 10 times as good as her.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That is a thing too, you know, is the not good enough. All of the images that are put out there are doctored, you know. So people get this idea that, you know, that they're supposed to be something that's impossible to be.
Well, it's a social expectancy, isn't it? And it's just really sad, really sad.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely, I'm seeing that more for, I'm seeing it more and more for boys as well.
Yeah, it is going that way, yeah. And I mean, I guess if people are happy and that's what they want to do, then that's cool. But I think the expectancy is just really, really grim. You know, it's, yeah.
And one of the things that I recently noticed is that kids are a lot fatter than they used to be in America. Like, so the kids in my son's class, for instance, a lot of them are much heavier than when I was his age. And of course, that's because, you know, food-like substances, our food supply is toxic, and it's causing inflammation and people to gain weight and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's starting to change here. I think consciousness is changing an awful lot. But then, I mean, it's incredibly fashionable at the moment to be vegan, and if you know, which is a really good thing, you know. But yeah, I think it is starting to change slightly. I don't know what it's like in the US, but it was a big thing over here. That, I mean, obese, unhealthy kids is, I mean, it's just not fair, and it's not the kid's decision necessarily either. In fact, no, it's not the kid's decision, you know. So
or fault, you know. I mean, if
absolutely.
If we want our kids to not be fat, we need to breastfeed them when they're born, and then we need to give them good food as they're growing up.
I breastfed all of my children.
I breastfed all of my children as well. Yeah, so it does give them a head start, and any kid that's, you know, formula fed is not getting, you know, not getting their ultimate start with their metabolism. They're going to have things to deal with because of that. So
yeah, possibly, yeah. But again, it is preference, I suppose, as well. But
so the chat room is loving your music. By the way, they're loving it.
Cool. Oh,
so I just wanted to let you know that it's coming across good, and it's really brave to do live music on the radio. I think anything can happen, right?
And probably will.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, I'm kind of more comfortable. Well, because, I mean, yeah, the stuff we've got recorded potentially isn't as good as what we do live as a band. I mean, I'd love to play a live set with the band for you. That would be amazing. But, I mean, whatever, you know, as we're going on recording things, I'll send bits to you, so for your own enjoyment, and
excellent.
You can vet them and pass them on to your listeners. Yeah,
so we'll be replaying this broadcast on People's Internet Radio on Tuesday from 9 to 11 GMT and 6 to 8 Eastern Time. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try to be in the chat. If you're free, you're also welcome to be in the chat at that time.
Okay.
But, you know, it's definitely not, you know, required or needed. And if you have a life to live.
Oh, no, I mean, no, I'd probably quite like to be in the chat because because if anyone had anything to say, positive or negative, I'd like to speak to them. That would be really, really cool. But I'm not confident I want to listen to this.
Yeah. No, don't worry. Well, I could
I know.
do a
It's
little
fine.
bit, especially the beginning with our technical difficulties. I'll probably just cut that out.
Yeah, I thought it was my fault because I'm the most impossible person to get hold of.
Are
And I
you?
thought that worked internationally as well.
Yeah. So we do that, and then it'll go on YouTube as well. And so when it goes on YouTube, we can put links to your SoundCloud and things like that in the description
Cool.
section, and people can find you that way. And
Yeah.
definitely my guests always come back, so you'd be welcome to come back. And
I'd love to. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
excellent. Well, thank you. Are you up for another one? Because the chat's really, really liking the music.
Yeah, absolutely. What should I do? I'll write a song. Since you're a twin, I've got twin boys.
Oh.
They were wholly unexpected, but not unwelcome. Yeah, it's kind of the realization of what have you done with your life when you're expecting unexpected twins. And it's called Twins and Needles because of the whole medical thing as well. So this is called Twins and Needles.
I spent all my money on whiskey and beer. If I had my way, I'd be a long way from here. If anyone asks what I did with my time, I'll say you'll find me swimming in a bottle of wine. I've got twins and needles here in my soul. I've had so far to come from and so far to go, but I am happy and in my way I am free. Half of my life has been pissed up the wall, and most of the rest I just cannot recall. And if you see a smoke ring move through the room, well, chances are it's been blown from my life's cartoon. I've got a midwife crisis deep in my heart. Never been so close or felt so far apart, but I am happy and in my way I am free. The man on the drum says if we don't make it big, there is no choice and no olive twig. They say that we dream to make sense of our days. Well, I spend my days making sense of my dreams. I've got a way of thinking, and it's often too much. I've got a way of living, it's way out of touch, but I am happy and in my way I am free. I spent all my money on whiskey and beer. If the world had its way, I'd be 6 feet from here. If anyone asks what I did with my time, I say you'll find me down and out in a bottle of wine. I've got a midwife crisis deep in my heart. We've never been so close or felt so far apart. I've got twins and needles here in my soul. I've had so far to come from, I've got so far to go, but I am happy and in my way. I am free.
Nice. Very nice. I like the as a poet, I like your play on words there
Thank you.
throughout the entire song.
Cool, thanks.
Very, very cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a thing to find out about a pregnancy like that, twins and
Oh, it was good. I wouldn't have it any other way. It was really
Yeah.
cool. It's good, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's are they identical or fraternal? Your
No, they're diozygotic. So they're separate placentas, separate amniotic sacs, separate eggs, separate humans. They're
Wow.
really nothing like each other in any way. One's got straight blonde hair, brown eyes, and olive skin. The other one's got pale skin, blue eyes, and dark curly hair.
Wow.
But I am the father of both.
Know that for a fact.
Yeah. Oh no, not yeah. We haven't had a test, but you can tell by the way they act.
Yeah. They're all you. All you.
Mhm.
And,
Oh no, they're half and half, but yeah, there's enough there.
yeah, I don't look anything like my brother as well. So, but I do think we are in the same.
Well, he's not a tall, hot girl.
No, he is not a tall, hot girl at all. But he's a tall, and brilliant man.
Cool.
Yeah, really smart and an artist. So I'm the poet and he's the visual artist.
Hey, Ross.
Sorry?
Is there can anybody order your CDs? There's a question in chat, and everybody's loving your music, by the way.
Thank you, man. That's cool. No is the answer to that. I don't really have any CDs. We've put out a few EPs that we sold to friends, and I haven't even got them.
Well, go to SoundCloud. I've been dropping your link there. So there is, I think you might be able to pay Ross in perhaps a a follow, a share of his music there to help spread them around.
Yeah, we are recording something presently. We've turned one of the rooms in my house into a makeshift recording studio. So it is happening. We've recorded probably 10 songs this week, new ones as well. So it's happening. It'll come eventually. So if people are willing to follow, it's not far.
Oh, excellent. Well, why don't we have you back when it comes out and we can...
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd absolutely love to, yeah. That'd be cool.
Wonderful.
Mm.
Yeah, we're really enjoying it. And your music really kind of put me at ease. You know, maybe just I can see the scene where people are hanging out, relaxed, enjoying the music. You know, I can feel it all. What it must be like.
Oh, well, thank you. That's really, really nice of you to say so. Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, as I say, I mean, we do really, really upbeat stuff as well, and we just, so yeah, it might be nice. I'll send you some bits anyway, and you can do what you like with them. But yeah, we do right across the board. You know, we like to have a nice time, and we like other people to have a nice time.
That's good. So we have just a few more minutes left in the show, maybe about eight or so minutes. And just wanted to ask Vince if there was any other questions from the chat before we wrap things up here. Vincey?
Sorry, I was plugging back. Hey, let me.
No, I'm not on Tinder.
Podcast here, so I've got this sound blaster. I'm going to mute 1 second. I'm going to count to 5, so I'll mute in the middle. 1, 2. Did you hear me say 5?
No.
Okay, I'm going to ask downstream in chat. Did you hear me count all the way to 5? Just a little test. Anyways, I've been unplugging my mic from the Sound Blaster box over here because when I broadcast now, I can't mute myself. If I do, I mute the whole Skype or the whole conversation going through Skype. But anyways, let's see. We do have Patrick is already there at soundcloud.com/Ross dash Alexander dash II for the second. And let me see. Yeah, just a lot of great comments. Everybody is really loving your music. Very heartwarming, very peaceful music, and several back before that as well. So yes, really well received here at freedomslips.com.
Cool,
Also,
thank you.
Real Liberty Media and joining too. I don't know if anybody from UCY.TV came over. I did not announce over there, but anyways, lots of great folks involved in broadcasting, and we're very glad for Kira on the bridge, bringing so many great and wonderful guests. I can't believe it. I guess I can. She has introduced me to some amazing people, so my hat's off to you, Kira. And I'll be along with you for, I guess, another week or two here before I step out away from the mic and head myself out into the wilds for some, just a little direction in life. I'll be doing some traveling coming up, and starting with a month or so out on the river here in the Ozarks of Arkansas. And I'll be shooting some videos, putting them up on YouTube, and some survival skills, some wood crafting, and also I'll be close to town. There's another part of the plan. I'll be there, and also I'll look to be engaging some folks there, and perhaps I know Hawk at Revolution Radio is looking for some folks to report from the field. And as I make it back to out west, I'll be contacting him and bringing, with the Bundys and stuff going on out there. I'm pretty sure Ross probably has not even heard about that over in England. But
yeah, I'm sure you heard about the Bundy Ranch and the standoff in Oregon.
No, I'm not sure that I have.
Okay, that's big news in America. But
in 2014, several hundred of us stood in the gap between about 200 federal agents and a ranching family, and caused them to release the cattle back into the range.
Maybe I read something about that. Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to give a shout out to Pete McAlinden, who turned me on to you, Ross.
Oh, cool.
He turned me onto a lot of good bands, and he's really passionate. He's a really passionate fan.
This time you got me.
Did he?
No. Usually is right, but this time maybe he wasn't.
No, he was totally right.
Thanks to Pete, and I thanked him yesterday personally. So that's really cool. And I know you've met Kenneth, haven't you, over the airwaves as well? Kenneth J. Nash.
Yeah.
And we've just been up recording an album with him last week.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful! Isn't that funny how I suggested you guys come on together, and I had no idea you were recording together.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Just last week we went up to the Cotswolds for 4 days with Jamie and Max from the Abrahams from our band, and we were his back line, essentially, I suppose. I was chief mandolin player, and we had a jolly nice time.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, I won't send you the photos, but we had a nice time.
Are there
it was really cool.
Wild photos from that time, or
just me apparently? No, not at all. It was just we had a really, really, really lovely time, and it was a joy to record on his album. And I think he's a happy boy. He came in to see me today, so yeah.
Yeah, he's quite a talent as well, and
absolutely. Yeah, as I say, it was a joy to go up and record with him, and a really beautiful setting to do it as well. So yeah.
And how close are you guys? Do you play the same gigs, or are you far enough apart where you're kind of in a different?
No, we do a lot together, an awful lot. There's a very much a mutual appreciation, and if I can get him on somewhere that's beneficial to him, or not even beneficial, that I think he might like, then we do that, and vice versa. Yeah, we do a lot together. We've known each other for a long time, so. Definitely. Yeah, he's a good egg.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely, maybe when his comes out, have you come on to that one. And
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm happy to do. Yeah, this keeps me out of the pub, so whenever you want me, just give me
your
a call.
liver will thank you. But not really, because you're still drinking a bottle of rum. Right. But do they still smoke in the pubs over there?
No, that hasn't been a thing for
Long time, huh?
apart from when the doors lock.
What about
No.
vaping? Is that like a huge thing over there?
Yeah, it is a big thing. Yeah, you see a lot of people vaping.
One thing I noticed, I went to go check out my friend's band, and I thought I would come out of there because this particular venue allowed people to smoke, but everybody was vaping. And I thought I would come out of there smelling, my hair would be smelling awful, and I didn't smell because everybody was vaping. They weren't actually smoking cigarettes. So
You smelled of blueberries and
yeah,
yeah, whatever else. Yeah.
secret drops of cannabis oil or something, and blueberries. Yeah.
That's clever, though. That's clever. I like those people.
Yeah, a little dab will do you. Get you through. Oh, Ross Alexander, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm doing an air handshake.
All right.
I'll speak to you again.
So Connor would like to do his Donald Trump is Illuminati confirmed for you.
Donald Trump, Donald Duck. Trump is short for trumpet. Ducks playing trumpets. Some states have circuses in them, which can have ducks playing trumpets in them. Donald Trump wants to bomb several states, but what does this have to do with Donald Trump being in the Illuminati? So ducks can be mutated to have one eye. Donald Trump's hair is so bad that it can look like a triangle. Coincidence? I didn't think so, but doesn't it seem a little bit fishy to you? Fish. Donald Trump's face resembles a fish. How? They both have eyes. They both have mouths. Fishes have two fins that look like triangles. Fishes also have two eyes. They can go into that triangle to make it look like an Illuminati symbol. But where's the green? It's from the money that he makes. Donald Trump is Illuminati confirmed.
I hope you enjoyed my 11-year-old son's parody of a parody. So his parody of the wild leaps that these Illuminati videos go into. And his Illuminati confirmed videos that he watches and gets a kick out of. He showed me, and they're pretty funny. So he made up his own, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Connor would like to do YouTube videos at some point, so he comes with me into town and do my show. So it's not every day you get accused of being the Illuminati. I think perhaps the truth movement has an issue with actually really wanting to know the truth. I think it's infiltrated with people who think they already know the truth, or are put there to steer your idea of what the truth is. So, if you are basing your ideas on, facts, not in evidence, then you're really going to make some bad mistakes in believing some bullshit. It's just the way it is, And calling somebody the Illuminati is like the ultimate straw man argument, isn't it? It's like someone's winning a little, internet debate. Well, you're the Illuminati bloodline, or, someone's pointed something out that makes you uncomfortable. Like the truth. The truth makes you uncomfortable. You don't expect to be comfortable when you learn the truth. So I wanted to take a minute to tell you about what's up in my offline life. My husband and I started a project a year ago that we called Yellow Thunder Food Sovereignty. And the idea was that we're in a situation where we have a little 6-acre patch of land. And
it's really hard to make a living. Most of what we make, we give back for our food. Food and housing, right? So that's how we know we're still slaves, if all that you make goes back into your basic needs. You're a slave. So that idea, plus the learning of the truth that our food supply is poisoned. Through my own health journey, I've learned that we need to look at nutrition in a whole different way, and we need to stop believing what the government tells us about what we need to eat. And we need to stop killing weeds, and we need to start foraging them and eating them. And we need to start growing our own food. As a species, it's taken us how long? Not very long to become food insovereign and dependent on the government and corporations for our poisoned food supply that's giving us autoimmune disease. And it's so easy to heal yourself. I healed myself of at least fibromyalgia at this point by not eating gluten anymore. And it's been pretty amazing. So what we're doing with Yellow Thunder Food Sovereignty is we're experimenting with the goal of becoming food sovereign, so that we're growing and producing all of our own food. The other goal is to get off the grid as well. So this isn't something that can happen instantly. It's taken us a long time to get here. So hopefully it won't take us a long time to get out, but we don't have a lot of capital. We just have this little patch and my income as a secretary, and we're trying to make it. So last year our funding goal was $4,000, and we got $800 in donations from some really cool people who believed in us and in our vision of what we want to do. So not only are we building this food sovereignty for ourselves, but living is sharing, and that's central to the native worldview, is that to live is to share. And so last year we fed 6 other families beside ourselves with our extra produce, what we produced and could not preserve. And some of these families, those vegetables were all that they got in terms of vegetables. In the West, our famine is nutritional starvation. The average American now is obese, yet nutritionally starved. I know, because I was one of them. I couldn't get any of my nutrients because my system was all gummed up with gluten, and I was inflamed and swollen from being poisoned. People are not, in this country at least, are not fat because they're gluttons. They're actually very sick. So I set myself as an example of how to perhaps change that. So we fed 6 families, and we got a $3,000 loan. And with that loan, we put in the basic, very, very basic infrastructure. As you can hear, the patch that we're on is really wild. I mean, it's like a jungle. We're right next to a creek, and everything has thorns, and the ground is rocks. So we work really, really hard for what we do. Really, really hard. So last year, my husband, Majikya, pounded in every pole for the garden fencing. And we experimented with straw bales. which hopefully we'll be able to do this year, but we would need some donations to be able to do that because straw costs money. And that went well. The tomatoes grew really well in the straw bale. And we were growing okra and green beans. And I put in a herb and tea and flower garden next to the house, like a little kitchen garden. And all of the herbs have come back. And this year I've added some pollinator gardens. I put in a hummingbird garden, in the herb garden, butterfly garden, a bumblebee garden, and a songbird garden. And these are all basically seeds that you can create little habitats for pollinators who are in trouble right now because of the poisoning that's going on. They're being poisoned. We're being poisoned, primarily with pesticides and herbicides. If I was in charge, I would immediately ban pesticides and herbicides because it's killing us. But where we are next to the creek is just it's a patch of rich abundance of life. And there's lots of birds, as you can hear, every kind of bird you could think of. All the way from eagles nesting right in our backyard here to hummingbirds. And so we work the land as much as we can. And I'm learning how to forage, and so I'm eating weeds instead of poisoning them and poisoning myself in the process. And it's working so far. I've learned a lot from my friend Dan DeLion, who's an herbalist and a forager. And so I suggest that you all go onto his site, Return to Nature, if this is the kind of stuff you want to learn more about, foraging and herbs, and how to heal, how to ask the plants for help in healing, and how to start making a change in a return to nature. We can all do it in different ways, whatever way works for you. It's a bird that flew up to say hi. A little crested titmouse. And they come up on the porch to steal the cat food because they seem to prefer it to seed. Another bird that came up was a red-bellied woodpecker. And now a hummingbird is here. See? We've created this oasis for wildlife. Co-created, I should say. And we just want to be left alone. Like the government have nothing to do with anything that we do. And we just want to live as close to nature as we can. Produce our own food. And teach ourselves and our son how to survive in the wild because the grid's going to go down. Things are going to change. Mother Nature is calling us to return to her. Many blessings. If you'd like to help us with our project, you can donate on PayPal. My email address is Valkyra, VALKYRA 1969 @gmail.com. Thank you.